The marketplace was alive with noise. Strange voices echoed through the air as creatures of all shapes and colors moved between stalls. Tall aliens with glassy eyes shouted their prices. Small traders with sharp teeth laughed and pointed at the weak. The smell of smoke, metal, and sweat filled the air. In the middle of this chaos stood a girl. Chains wrapped around her wrists and ankles. Her head hung low, her hair dirty, her body tired. To the crowd, she looked like nothing, just another slave, another broken thing to sell. Worthless. One alien shouted, "She cannot even lift a stone." Another laughed. The trader who owned her tried to smile. He raised his hands, calling out to the crowd, "Take her, cheap price, almost free. You will not find a lower offer in all the stars." But nobody wanted her. They wanted fighters, workers, slaves with strength. This girl looked too thin, too weak to them. She was not even worth the food she would eat. Some aliens threw rotten fruit at her. Some laughed as she flinched. Others walked past without even looking at her. She felt smaller and smaller with every insult. She thought to herself, "Maybe they are right. Maybe I am nothing." The trader grew angry. He pulled her by the chain and shouted louder, his voice cracking with desperation. "She is yours for almost nothing. A few coins, 1 credit anything." But still, the crowd ignored him. Then, from the shadows, someone was watching. A man stood apart from the noise, silent and still. He was tall, covered in a dark cloak. His face could not be seen, but his eyes were sharp, glowing faintly under the hood. He did not laugh like the others. He did not mock. He only watched the girl lifted her head for a moment and caught his gaze. Her heart skipped. Why was he staring? Suddenly, he stepped forward. The crowd grew quiet, just for a second. His boots hit the ground heavy, slow, but sure. He stopped in front of the trader and spoke in a low voice. "I will take her." The trader blinked, surprised. You want her? She is worthless." The man did not answer. He placed a small silver coin in the trader's hand. The trader looked at the coin and his eyes widened. It was far more than the girl's worth. "Why pay this much for trash?" the trader asked. The man's voice was calm but strong. "Because trash to you is treasure to me." The trader laughed nervously but took the coin. He unlocked the chains and pushed the girl forward. "She is yours now. Don't come back crying when she breaks." The girl stumbled, but the man caught her before she fell. His hand was strong, steady. He looked at her, but his face remained hidden under the hood. For the first time in her life, someone's touch did not feel cruel. The crowd whispered among themselves. Why would he take her? Is he mad? Maybe he knows something we don't. The man turned, leading the girl away from the marketplace. She followed, though her heart was heavy with confusion. She wanted to ask, "Why me? Why save me?" But the words stayed locked inside. They walked through narrow streets, past broken walls and glowing signs. The air grew quieter, away from the noise of trade. At last, the man stopped near a waiting ship. Its metal hull was scarred, marked by battles. The girl stared at it. Freedom or another prison? The man looked at her once more. His voice was quiet, but carried weight. "They called you worthless, but I see more in you than they ever will." She wanted to believe him, but doubt filled her mind. She whispered, barely loud enough to hear, "I am nothing." The man's eyes glowed brighter. "You are not nothing. You are the key to something greater." Before she could ask what he meant, the ship's doors opened with a hiss. The darkness inside seemed both terrifying and safe at the same time. She took a step forward. Behind them, far back in the marketplace, a group of bounty hunters whispered into their combs. They had seen the sail. They had seen the man. And they were already planning to follow. The girl did not know yet, but her. Life was about to change forever. The ship doors closed behind them with a heavy thud. The sound echoed like the end of one life and the start of another. The girl sat quietly on a small bench inside the ship. Her chains were gone, but she still felt their weight in her mind. The man removed his hood for the first time. His face was strong, weathered by years of hardship. Scars ran across his cheek, proof of battles fought long ago. His eyes, however, were not cruel. They were sharp, yes, but filled with something strange, something she had never seen before. He spoke slowly, as if choosing each word with care. "You do not belong in chains." The girl looked down. "But I was sold like garbage. Why would you waste money on me?" The man sat across from her, leaning forward. His voice was firm. "Because I know what others cannot see. You are not garbage. You are important. You are different." His words confused her. Different? Important? She shook her head. "No. All my life, people told me I am nothing. Too weak, too useless. Even my own family left me behind." The man's eyes narrowed. "Sometimes the world lies to keep you small. Sometimes those who fear your strength will call you weak." She felt a shiver run through her body. Was he telling the truth, or just another lie from another stranger? Before she could answer, the ship shook. The engines roared, and the vessel rose into the sky, leaving the dirty marketplace behind. Through a small window, she watched the planet grow smaller. For a moment, she felt like the chains were truly broken. But freedom was still a strange. The man walked to the control panel, pressing buttons with steady hands. Lights flickered across the screens. He spoke without looking at her. "My name is Kale." She hesitated before whispering, I don't have a name." Kale turned to her, eyes sharp. "Everyone has a name. You were not born nothing." She looked away, shame burning in her chest. Nobody had ever cared to call her by a real name. She was always girl, slave, or worthless. Kale studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. "Until you remember your true name, I will call you Lyra. It means light in the dark." The girl, Lyra, felt her chest tighten. No one had ever given her something so simple, so kind. A name. Before she could thank him, alarms blared inside the ship. Red lights flashed across the cabin. Kale's face grew tense. "They are coming." "Who?" she asked, fear rising in her voice. "Bounty hunters. They want you." Her blood ran cold. "Me? But why? I am worthless. There is nothing in me." "Worth chasing?" Kale's voice was hard. "You are wrong. There is something inside you, something powerful. That is why they want you." The ship shook again as lasers fired from behind. Through the window, Lyra saw 3 small hunter ships, black and sharp like predators chasing prey. Kale gripped the controls. "Hold on." The ship dove through clouds of dust and stone. The hunters followed closely, their weapons burning through the darkness. Lyra clung to the seat, her heart racing. For the first time, she realized Kale had risked everything by buying her. He could have walked away in the marketplace. He could have ignored her, but he DN'd single quotes. Why? The ship twisted through a narrow space tunnel, glowing walls rushing past. Alarms screamed, sparks flying from the panels. Kale's hands moved fast, calm but fierce. "Why are you doing this?" Lyra shouted over the noise. Kale's eyes stayed on the hunters behind them. His answer was short but heavy. "Because I believe in you. Even if you don't believe in yourself yet." The words struck her heart like fire. She wanted to deny them, to shout that she was nothing. But deep inside, something stirred. Something she had buried for years. A faint glow flickered in her palms. She gasped, staring at her hands. They were glowing, like soft light trapped under her skin. Cale glanced at her, his eyes widening. It has begun. The glow grew stronger. Energy hummed around her body, shaking the air. The ship's controls sparked as if reacting to her presence. "What is happening to me?" she cried. Cale's voice was steady, even in the chaos. "This is why you are hunted. This is why you are not worthless. You have a gift that can change everything." The hunters fired again, explosions lighting up the tunnel. Cale pulled the ship hard to the side, but one blast hit the wing. Smoke filled the cabin. Lyra's fear turned into something else, something fierce. The glow spread up her arms, burning brighter. She felt a power inside her, wild and unstoppable. Cale looked at her, his face filled with both fear and hope. "You must choose, Lyra. Will you hide from what you are, or will you face it?"
Oh.
The ship dived into darkness, the hunter still, close behind, and Lyra knew her choice would change the galaxy forever. The ship drifted in silence after the long chase. Smoke still curled from broken wires. The engines groaned, but somehow the vessel kept moving. Lyra sat on the floor, her arms shaking, her hands still faintly glowing. She stared at them with wide eyes. What is this?" she whispered. Cale turned slowly, his face serious. He had seen many things in his life, but the light in her hands filled even him with awe. He knelt down so his eyes met hers. "That," he said firmly, "is the truth inside you. The truth they tried to bury, the truth they fear." Lyra shook her head. "No, it can't be. I am weak. I am nothing." Cale's voice grew sharp. "Weak. You lit the dark with your own body. You bent energy without even trying. That is not weakness, Lyra. That is power." His words sank deep into her, but her heart still fought them. She remembered every insult, every cruel laugh, every moment she was treated like dirt. Could all of them be wrong? The ship jolted suddenly. Sparks flew. Cale stood and hit the controls, cursing under his breath. "Engines failing. We need to land." Through the window, a dark planet appeared. No shining cities, no glowing lights, only endless forests and deep mist. It looked empty, but it pulsed with strange energy. The ship descended, rough, crashing through branches and rocks until it landed hard in a clearing. Metal screeched, smoke rose. For a moment, silence followed. Lyra stood on shaky legs, her heart racing. She looked at Cale. "Where are we?" His eyes scanned the foggy trees outside. A forgotten world. But sometimes, the forgotten places are the ones that hold answers. They stepped out of the ship. The air was thick and cold. Shadows twisted between the trees. Every sound felt alive, the whisper of leaves, the crack of branches, the distant call of creatures. Lyra hugged herself, feeling small. Why here? Cale's eyes narrowed. Because this planet remembers things the galaxy has forgotten. And you will need to remember too. They walked deeper into the forest. Strange symbols glowed faintly on tree bark, like ancient writing. The mist swirled around them, almost guiding their steps. Then Lyra froze. She heard a voice, soft, whispering, calling her name. Lyra, her blood turned cold. She spun around, but no one was there. "Did you hear that?" she asked, her voice trembling. Cale looked at her, his face unreadable. "The planet is speaking to you." "That's impossible," she said quickly. "Planets don't talk." But the voice came again, stronger. "You are mine. You are the last of us." Her hands glowed brighter on their own. light. Pushed. Back the mist, revealing an ancient stone hidden in the earth. It was covered with markings, the same ones on the trees. Kale's eyes widened. "It's true." "What is?" she demanded. He looked at her with a mix of fear and pride. "You carry the blood of the Starborn." The word meant nothing to her, but it felt heavy. Starborn. Kale knelt by the stone. His fingers traced the markings. Long ago, the Starborn were people of light. They could bend energy, heal worlds, destroy empires. The galaxy feared them, so the powerful hunted them, killed them, erased their name. No one survived. He looked up at her. "Until you." Lyra staggered back. "No, that's not me. I can't be that. I don't want to be that." Kale's voice hardened. "You cannot run from what you are. The hunters already know. They will not stop. They will tear the galaxy apart to find you." Her breathing quickened. Her heart pounded. She shook her head, tears burning her eyes. "I never asked for this. I just wanted to be normal. I don't want power. I don't want enemies." The stone pulsed with light. The voice filled her head again, stronger now, echoing like thunder. "Child of stars, you cannot hide. You are chosen. You are ours." Lyra screamed, clutching her head. The ground shook beneath her feet. Trees bent. Rocks cracked. Energy poured out of her, wild and uncontrolled. Kale rushed forward, grabbing her shoulders. "Listen to me. Breathe. You must control it, or it will consume you." The light flared so bright the forest looked like day. Shadows fled, and strange creatures ran into the dark. The power was raw, terrifying, but also beautiful. Slowly, painfully, the light faded. Lyra collapsed into Kale's arms, breathing hard, her face pale. She whispered, her voice shaking. "If this is true, then who am I really?" Kale's eyes burned with determination. "You are not worthless. You are not nothing. You are the last hope of the Starborn. And the galaxy will either rise with you or fall without you." The mist closed in again, hiding the stone, but Lyra could still feel its pull. Deep inside, she knew her life had changed forever. Far above, in the endless sky, the bounty hunters tracked the planet. They had seen where the ship landed, and they were coming. The forest was heavy with silence. Mist wrapped around every tree, thick like a living wall. Lyra and Kale moved slowly, each step crunching on wet leaves. She felt the weight of the glowing stone behind them, its whispers still echoing in her mind. But another sound soon replaced it. Engines, faint at first, then louder. The growl of ships cutting through the sky. The hunters had found them. Kale's hand shot up. "Stay low." They crouched behind the twisted roots of an ancient tree. Through the branches, Lyra saw lights flashing in the mist. 3 hunter ships circled above the forest, their beams sweeping across the ground like the eyes of predators searching for prey. Her chest tightened. She whispered, "They came for me." Kale's voice was cold. "Yes, and they will not stop." One ship lowered, landing nearby. Its ramp hissed open, and armored figures stepped out. Their helmets glowed red, their weapons crackling with energy. They moved in formation, silent but deadly. Lyra's hands trembled. The glow returned, faint but rising. Kale grabbed her wrist. "Not now. If you lose control, they will see us." "But she started." "Silence," he ordered. They watched as the hunters scanned the area, machines buzzing through the fog. One of the hunters bent down, touching the soil. "She was here." His voice echoed through a voice box. Feel her power. Lyra's heart skipped. Could they really feel her? Kale's eyes narrowed. He leaned close to her ear. "We need to move. Quietly, slowly." They crawled through the roots, slipping deeper into the forest. But every step seemed louder than thunder in her ears. Every breath felt like a signal. Then snap. A branch broke under her foot. The sound echoed sharp through the mist. The hunters froze, their helmets turned. Beams of red light scanned the trees. Kale pulled her down behind a fallen log, his jaw tight. "Run when I say." The hunters moved closer. Their boots crushed the earth. Energy weapons hummed, ready to fire. Lyra's whole body shook. She whispered, "We won't make it." Kale's eyes burned with determination. "We will." Then, suddenly, now. They leaped up and ran. The forest exploded with shouts. Blaster fire cut through the mist, beams slicing past them. Trees burst into flames where the shots struck. Lyra ran as fast as she could, her breath ragged. Kale stayed ahead, his cloak whipping behind him. "This way, T," he called, but the hunters were fast, too fast. They split into two groups, surrounding them like wolves. Lyra stumbled into a clearing, the mist parting to reveal an ancient ruin. Broken pillars rose from the earth, glowing faintly with the same markings as the stone she had touched earlier. The hunters closed in, their weapons raised. Lyra froze, trapped. Her fear boiled, and the light in her hands burst out again, brighter than ever. The hunters shielded their eyes, but still advanced. "Stop her before she awakens it." One of them shouted. Kale's sword flashed out of nowhere, a blade of blue energy. He cut through the first hunter, sparks flying. "Go, Lyra!" he shouted. But she couldn't move. The ruins called to her. The markings glowed stronger with every heartbeat. Her hands lifted on their own, light pouring into the stone pillars. The ground trembled. The ruins came alive. The hunters panicked, firing wildly. Kale fought fiercely, blocking blasts, striking back, his movements fast as lightning. But there were too many. Lyra's glow reached its peak, a beam of light shooting into the sky. The mist split, the clouds roared. Energy pulsed across the forest, knocking hunters to the ground. She collapsed to her knees, gasping for air. Kale grabbed her, pulling her back into cover. His face was fierce but proud. "You awakened it." She shook her head weakly. I didn't mean to." "You didn't have to," he said. "It was always waiting for you." The ruins pulsed like a heartbeat, sending waves of light across the forest. The hunters regrouped, their leader stepping forward. His armor was blacker than night, his helmet marked with crimson lines. His voice cut through the chaos, deep and cruel. "Child of stars," he growled. "You belong to us." Lyra's blood froze. She recognized the voice, the same whisper she had heard in her head. Kale raised his blade, standing between them. "Over my dead body," the hunter leader laughed. "So be it." The air grew heavy with tension. The ruins glowed brighter. The forest shook, and Lyra realized this was no longer just a chase. This was war. The ruins shook as if waking from a long sleep. The glowing symbols spread across the cracked stones like fire racing across dry wood. The air buzzed with energy, pulling at Lyra's skin and hair. She clutched her chest, breathing fast. The hunters advanced. Their leader's red glowing helmet tilted toward her. His voice cut through the roar of the ruins. "You cannot run anymore. The blood of the Starborn flows in you. You were always ours." Lyra froze. The words felt heavy, to believe. She shook her head violently. "No, I don't belong to you. I don't belong to anyone." Kale stepped forward, his blade burning bright. "You will not touch her." The leader laughed, a sound like metal grinding. "You hide the truth from her, Kale. Do you think she won't learn what she really is?" Lyra turned, her heart racing. What does he mean? Cale didn't answer. His jaw tightened. The hunter leader raised his weapon slowly. She does not know. How sweet. Then let me educate the child of stars. He pointed the weapon at Lyra. Long ago, the starborn were gods among mortals. They shaped worlds, bent energy, healed the dying. But their gift was too dangerous. The empires feared them. So we hunted them. We burned their cities. We erased their name. Lyra's voice cracked. And my family, my bloodline, the leaders. Laugh was cruel. They died like the rest. But a very few, hid their children among the weak. That is why you grew up worthless, abandoned, mocked. You were hidden, disguised as nothing. Her knees trembled. She fell back against the glowing stone. Tears blurred her vision. All her life, she had believed she was trash. And now, this monster said it was because she carried something greater. Cale growled, stepping closer to her. Don't listen to him. He twists truth into poison. But the leader's voice pressed deeper, cold and sharp. And what of him? Did he tell you why he bought you? Why he risked everything? Lyra looked at Cale, her chest tightening. Tell me, why did you save me? Cale's face was torn, his eyes filled with something between sorrow and fire. Because you are more than they said. Because I could not let the galaxy lose its last light. The leader's voice thundered. Lies. He did not buy you to save you. He bought you to use you. The Starborn's power is a weapon, and Cale has always been a soldier. Lyra staggered back, confusion breaking her apart. She looked between them, her hands shaking with light. Which of you is telling the truth? Who am I supposed to trust? Cale's voice was desperate now. Lyra, look at me. I saw you when no one else did. I gave you a name when you thought you had none. I don't want your power. I want you to believe in yourself. But the doubt was already crawling inside her heart. The ruins pulsed again. A deep hum spread through the ground. Suddenly, the stones shifted, opening a hidden chamber below. A staircase of light appeared, leading into darkness. The hunter leader smiled beneath his mask. The ruins have awakened for her. She will choose us or you. Lyra's voice trembled. I don't know who to believe. The whispers returned inside her mind. Voices of the Starborn, soft yet commanding. Come to us, child. We are waiting. You will understand below. Her hands glowed brighter. The energy pulled her toward the staircase like an unseen force. Cale reached for her arm. Don't. It may be a trap. The hunter leader spread his arms. No, it is destiny. Let her go, Cale. The blood will guide her. For a moment, Lyra stood frozen between them. One man who saved her. One enemy who claimed her. Both pulling her in different directions. Her chest heaved as she whispered to herself, Who am I? The ground shook harder, the ruins cracking. A beam of light shot into the sky, signaling across the stars. Somewhere far away, more ships answered the call. Cale's voice roared over the chaos. Lyra, whatever you choose, know this sure. Worth is not in them, not in me. It is inside you. Tears ran down her face. She looked at him, then at the hunter leader, then at the glowing staircase below. Her legs moved before her mind decided. Step by step, she walked toward the light. The leader laughed in triumph. Cale shouted her name, and then she disappeared into the depths of the ruins. Swallowed by the light, the ruins swallowed Lyra into their glowing heart. The staircase of light carried her down into a vast chamber hidden for ages. The air was thick with ancient energy. Symbols burned across the walls, alive with shifting colors. At the center stood a throne of stone, cracked yet powerful. back. On it sat a figure tall, armored in black and silver, his face hidden behind a mask of glass. His voice came like a storm. "Daughter of stars, you have finally come home." Lyra froze. The voice was the same whisper that had haunted her dreams. Her hands shook, light flickering from her skin. "Who are you?" The masked figure rose. "I am Lord Varese, the last hunter of the Starborn. I destroyed your kind. And yet, I preserved one seed. You—" Her breath caught. "You mean you knew me?" Varese spread his arms wide. "I created your destiny. I ordered you hidden, raised among the weak, so no empire would sense your power. You were meant to awaken here in my hands, and now you belong to me." Lyra's body trembled. "No, I don't belong to you, or to anyone." But his words dug into her heart like hooks. Could it be true? Had her whole life been a lie, built by this shadow? Suddenly, Kale's voice echoed from above. "Lyra, don't listen to him." She turned. Kale had fought his way down, his blade glowing, his cloak torn. His face was bruised, but his eyes blazed with fire. Varese laughed darkly. "Ha, the loyal soldier. Did you tell her yet? Did you tell her why you hunted her first?" Lyra froze. "Hunted me." Her chest tightened. She turned toward Kale, her voice shaking. "What does he mean?" Kale's lips pressed into a hard line. He didn't speak. Varese stepped forward, his mask glowing. "He was once my blade, my hand. He served me when I commanded the purge of your kind. And when I ordered the last survivor to be found. Kale searched the stars for you, not to save you, to deliver you." Lyra staggered back as if struck. Her voice cracked with pain. "Kale, is it true?" Kale's jaw clenched. His hand tightened on the blade. At last he spoke, his voice rough. "Yes, once. Long ago, I was a soldier. I obeyed orders. I did not care who lived, who died, until I saw you." Her tears blurred the glowing chamber. "So you bought me, because of him. Because you were following his command." Kale's voice broke. "At first, but not after. I walked away from him, from all of it. I chose to protect you, not deliver you. I swear it." But the damage was done. Lyra's heart twisted. All the trust she had built shattered in seconds. Her rescuer, her only friend, had once hunted her people, had once hunted her. Varys' laughter echoed through the ruins. "See, child, you cannot trust him. He lies, he hides. But I have told you only truth. Come to me, and I will give you purpose." The throne pulsed with light. Energy chains slithered from the floor, wrapping around Lyra's wrists and ankles. She gasped as the chains pulled, binding her in place. Kale roared, rushing forward, but Varese raised one hand. A wave of dark energy blasted him back, slamming him into the stone wall. He fell, his blade skittering across the floor. Lyra cried. "Out! Stop! Leave him!" Varys stepped closer, his masked face looming above her. "He betrayed you. I will never betray you. Your power belongs to me, as it always has." Her light flared in anger, burning against the chains, but they tightened, stealing her strength. She fell to her knees, gasping. Kale dragged himself up, blood on his lip. His voice cracked with desperation. "Lyra, listen. I cannot erase my past, but I will not let him take you. I would die first." The chamber shook as power clashed between them. Lyra's heart tore in two. She wanted to hate Kale, yet part of her still believed his words. Varys leaned close, his voice sharp. "Choose, child. The soldier who lied, or the master who tells you the truth." Her eyes burned with tears. She whispered, "I choose myself." The chains cracked, bursting in a shower of sparks. Light exploded from her body, knocking Varys back, ripping the throne into pieces. The entire chamber roared with energy. Chaol shielded his eyes, shouting her name. When the light faded, Lyra stood tall, her glow fierce, but her face was hard, cold. She looked at Chaol with pain. "I cannot trust you," she whispered. Chaol's chest fell. "Lyra," but before he could finish, Varys's laughter rose again. Dark shadows coiled around him as he lifted his weapon. "This is only the beginning," he growled. The ruins cracked, stone falling around them. And Lyra realized that betrayal was not over. It had only begun. The ruins crumbled, stone crashing down as dust filled the air. Lyra stood in the center, her body glowing like a star. Chaol struggled to rise from the ground, blood running down his face. While Lord Varys loomed in the darkness, his armor pulsing with red energy. The chamber shook with his laughter. "You think breaking chains makes you free? No, child. You were born for my hand. You will always belong to me." Lyra's voice rang clear, stronger than ever. "I belong to no one." Her glow spread, pushing back the shadows. Elba Varys lifted. His weapon, a blade of black fire. With a roar, he charged, his power slamming into hers. The clash was thunder, light against darkness. Energy cracked across the ruins, splitting stone, burning symbols into the walls. Chaol forced himself up, stumbling to his fallen sword. His body was weak, but his voice was strong. "Lyra, you are not alone." She turned for a second, her eyes meeting his. For the first time, she saw not the soldier of his past, but the man who had chosen to stand by her now even when it cost him everything. Her heart steadied. The doubt, the fear, the lies, they fell away like broken chains. "I am not worthless," she whispered. The words became truth. Her light flared brighter, burning hotter than ever before. The ruins trembled as her energy filled every crack, every shadow. Varys staggered back, raising his blade. Impossible. But Lyra stepped forward, her voice echoing through the chamber. "All my life, I was told I was nothing. Trash, weak, forgotten, but I was never nothing. I was waiting. Waiting for this moment." Chaol shouted, throwing his sword. She caught it in one hand, her glow wrapping around the blade until it became pure light. She charged. Their blades collided in a storm of sparks. Varys fought with fury, each strike shaking the ground. But Lyra moved with strength, born not from training, but from truth. For the first time, she believed in herself. Varys roared, shadows wrapping around him. "You cannot kill me, child. I made you." Her voice cut like fire. "No, you only tried to break me, and you failed." She drove the blade through his chest. Light exploded, flooding the ruins. Varys screamed, his mask cracking, shadows tearing apart. His body dissolved into dust, carried away by the glow dot. Silence followed. The ruins stopped shaking. The air grew still. Lyra stood in the center, her glow fading slowly until only a faint shimmer remained on her skin. The sword of light dissolved. In her hand, she looked down at her trembling fingers, whispering softly, "It's over." Chaol limped toward her, his face bruised, his body broken, but his eyes filled with pride. "You did it, Lyra. You chose your own worth." Her throat tightened. She looked at him, remembering his betrayal, his truth, his choice to fight for her. For a moment, silence hung heavy between them. Finally, she spoke. "You hurt me, but you also saved me. Maybe I can't forget your past, but I can see your heart now." Chaol lowered his head. "I will carry the weight of what I was until I die. But if you allow me, I will walk beside you, not as your master, but as your ally." Lyra studied him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she nodded. She looked up at the ruins above, where lights still glowed faintly in the broken stones. They called me worthless. But I was never worthless. I was chosen to rise, not for them, but for myself. Her voice grew firm. The galaxy will remember that the starborn are not dead. We are alive, and we are free. Outside, the night sky was filled with stars. The mist cleared, and for the first time, Lyra felt their light not as something distant, but as part of her. She turned to Kale, her lips curving into the smallest, truest smile she had ever known. Come, the galaxy is waiting. Together, they stepped out of the ruins. Far away, across the stars, whispers spread. The last starborn had awakened. The hunters were gone, but others would rise. Wars would come. Darkness would gather. But Lyra was ready. She was no longer a slave. No longer a girl sold for nothing. She was the light in the dark. She was her true worth.